Hi guys! We are going to talk about writing. So this is the weekly writing focus for the week of April 6th. And in the week 3 and 4 folder on Schoology, there is a weekly writing focus folder where you can find the chart I'm going to be showing you today. And you also will see that I have added a lined paper. If you have printing capabilities and you want to print paper to write with, you can. It's definitely not necessary, but that's the paper we use at school. And we usually have 5-page books stapled together. So if you feel like making those, or you can write any other way that works for you. So today's chart, we looked at this chart. We had 1 week of learning and practicing writing realistic fiction books. So we're going to go over that again today because I'm afraid we might have forgotten some of this. So, how to write a realistic fiction book. The biggest step here is the planning. So that's number 1 is the planning. So it says think of a pretend character. So your first job is to think of the character. You're going to give your character a name. You can imagine a place and imagine the trouble your character gets into. If you don't plan all of this out, your story might be confusing or you might not know what you're going to write next. So it's best to think of all of these things before you start. And just a reminder that realistic fiction means it could happen in real life. So animals are not talking, people are not flying, or anything that would be fantasy fiction. So these are going to be people act like people, animals act like animals. So you can be creative with naming the person. But other than that, these should be things that could really happen in real life. But you can still make them up, but there's things that could happen. Okay, after you think about all of that stuff, you're going to touch and tell. We have done this with every kind of writing we've done so far. That means you have blank pages and you're going to just point and think about what words you would put on that page, kind of like you're telling the story out loud. That's another way just to get ready to write your book. Then you can do a quick sketch on each page. And remember, that's not coloring. It's not all the details in your picture. It's just something quick to remind you what you wanted to write on each page. And step number 3 is you start writing. So at school, we are all doing this at different paces. We're all doing a different step, and that's fine. You will see on our our remote learning map, I gave you some options on some days that you could write or do Lililo. Writing doesn't have to be an everyday thing. I'm going to really let you guys decide. If there's maybe just one day you want to sit and do it for 30 minutes, that's great. If you would rather do it a couple days a week for a shorter amount of time, that's fine. This is really going to be up to you. And we're going to talk about some different things with writing these books for our next week focus. So this is just kind of to get us back into the groove of writing. And if it takes us, over a week to even write one book, that's fine. Okay, take your time and do what works for you. All right. Well, I will see you in the video.